Hi everyone, welcome back. We will start in approximately 14 minutes. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. Can everyone hear me?
Good evening, Professor.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, it's good to have you back after 2 weeks of hiatus, 2 weeks of vacation. So let me ask you a question. How was your vacation?
It was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, can't complain. Very good.
Okay. So let me ask you that question. What did you do for fun? Or tell me one thing you do for fun. Anyone?
Went to the beach.
Ooh, nice.
Took a trip.
Nice.
Went for apple picking at the farm.
Oh, nice. Really nice.
Cooking.
Cooking, that's good. What did you cook?
Yeah, just cook for others.
Okay.
Anything could be. All right.
All right. Awesome.
Yesterday is the pretty famous Chinese traditional favors, so I have a dinner with my family.
Okay, that's really good. That's really good to spend time with family. Who else? Okay, great. So it's good to have you back, and I hope we can all, how would I say that, can catch up with the past weeks that we have lost. And we're going to have deep dive mostly in what we learned for the past week regarding modeling. But before that, I would like first of all to review what we did last time, because I'm sure it might be difficult for you to catch up because I have to put you in the context. And then secondly, we will first of all review the homework as an example for all the modeling that we'll be using. And I will ask you to go to a particular website and see if you can get the information regarding the modeling. And then after that, we will discuss about the term project. Any question regarding the plan of the class?
I have a question about something else. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
About SQL. I was just wondering, in your instructions, you kind of like posted how to download Microsoft Office and SQL, but the SQL does not normally open just from downloading it itself, so it actually requires like several steps. I was just wondering, how does your SQL look like, and what platform are you using?
Oh, okay. So here's the thing regarding the SQL. So I'm going to use the MySQL as a platform so that you can do queries. I already set up in the cloud MySQL with a database already loaded so that you can all practice when we actually go into that phase. That is why I'm asking you to download the MySQL so that you can all start to practice. I think I request for 5 volunteers, but so far I haven't seen anyone. But if you're still interested, please let me know in the chat just to do some testing and see if I need to actually have more memory, because I know all of you are going to access it. I just need to make sure that when all of you are accessing it, you'll all be able to work. Does that answer your question, Natalia? Or?
I think, well, sorry, I guess maybe I'm just maybe overthinking it, but
Okay.
I just don't exactly understand how it's supposed to look, because from reading about it, I understand that there are different platforms. Like, for example, there is Azure data. for visuals and so on, that's recommended. But MySQL itself, like it doesn't open if you just download it. So I've gone through several steps. I had to download the Docker and some other stuff. Basically, I had to go through the terminal. So it took at least half an hour to do all of that. And when I go on Docker and I try to open it, it's still, the window looks very weird to me. So I'm just trying to understand what it's supposed to look like. And, you know, like, am I doing it right, I guess, or not?
Okay, can you share your screen so that everyone can see? Is that
Okay.
possible?
Yeah, let me see. Yeah. 1 second. Can you enable participant sharing?
Yes, I did that.
Okay. Okay. And again, I thought I actually fixed that issue, but it's not letting me for some reason. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
When I go to preferences and I try to, for Zoom, I mean, and my preferences for Zoom, is it accessibility that I'm supposed to? Because basically my preference apparently not set for that. And every time I'm trying to fix it, it goes back to the same not sharing. So I'm not quite
So there is actually a share button in the middle of the screen at the bottom. And then when you click on it, it will give you actually all the screen that you can share. You can share a desktop one or
Yeah. So here's the thing. Now I see that. So basically, yeah, I see that. What it says here when I click on Docker desktop and I click to share, it tells me allow Zoom to share your screen, open system preferences, security and privacy to grant access. Right.
Hmm.
So when I go to open system preferences, which I thought I already fixed, system preferences. So I don't know why it's not working. Sorry. And I'm actually allowing Zoom to share, and it's still not sharing in my preferences.
well,
Sorry.
if you go to preferences and click on sharing.
So yes, I go to security and privacy, and I go to accessibility.
No,
it's not right. Okay.
No, go to sharing, system preferences, sharing.
System preferences.
Screen, you see sharing.
Do I go, sorry, I guess I'm a little bit confused. Do I go to my computer or in, because that's what I understand I need to go to, right?
You know, in your computer, actually. Let me share my screen so that I can show you exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I don't see screen sharing here. I only see screen recording.
Okay, are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
You go to system preferences,
Yeah.
sharing,
Okay.
screen sharing, and you put all users.
Okay. All right, let me try that. Yeah.
You have to make sure that the on here is checked. If it's not checked, then it's not gonna do it.
Okay, I see. Okay, great. Let me check that actually. Yeah. You know what? Let me just take a second for that, and I'll get back to it.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much time, from the class, so we'll just get back to it. Yeah. In the meantime, I'll work on it.
All right, no problem.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so what did we see last time regarding databases? First of all, we need to know that databases, we need to plan database, and they actually have a life cycle, and they call it database system development life cycle, where you plan database, you define the system, you gather requirements, you do the design of the database, and actually you're selecting the database. So when you do actually the planning of the database, you're looking at the mission statement, objectives, how you should collect data, how the data will be performed or will be specified, how the data will be stored, and what are the documentation that is needed, and also what are the implementation we are going to use. And we also need to take into account the user views and all the manager or supervisor, role. It means that what they should see, they should not see. And we also look at some area regarding department. We have marketing, we have accounting, we have stock control, or anything. And when we collect the requirement, mostly we use different type of techniques and tool to do that. We first of all analyze all the information regarding the organization. We actually get a description of the data. For example, if someone's told you, we're going to trade derivatives or future options, or we're going to store a customer, you need to identify exactly what are the attributes of the customer. You need to know what identifies a customer. And you are also going to check if when you're doing a user view, for example, a multiple user view, if you're going to have a centralized approach, a combination of both, or a combination of approach, meaning a combination of centralized approach or a view integration approach. And those as well, they have each approach, you have a specific design. So the centralized approach, it means that all users views, okay, you can actually, each user view are merged into a single set of requirement. There's also the view integration. It means that the user view remain as a separate list. So mostly the user views are created or merged into the database, or the user view is actually representing during the database design stages. So when you're doing the requirements or collecting the requirements, you make sure that you get all the information from the customer. If there's a doubt, you go back and then you try to understand what does an attribute mean, what does an attribute, or how you identify what we call a model or an entity in the organization. We have the database design where you actually use many approach, top down, bottom up, inside out, mix. And then the main purpose of all of them is try to understand the meaning of the data or the semantics of the data, and to also facilitate communication of the information requirement. Meaning, let's say, for example, I have a customer that I need to return all the information regarding the customer. So I need to make sure that what does it mean to have the first name to last name, the date of birth, the last 4 digits of the social security number, or anything else that could identify a customer. And we also need to make sure that the nature of the data itself, what would be the representation, and the use of the data across user views. What I mean by that is that how the user are going to manipulate those data. Are they going to add data to the database? Are they going to update or modify data? Are going to delete it? Are they going to view a portion of the data? Or are they going to view all the data? I'm gonna give one example. Some of you may have seen that whenever they're seeing a database, you would say, for example, oh, there's column that says created by, modified by, updated by. I mean, they call them like audit field. Those audit field actually, sometimes you don't need it. You don't need it, or the user actually doesn't need it, because these are actually for the developer or for database administrator, so that whenever there's an issue, they can actually still go and figure it out. Okay, what was the issue? Now, when you're doing what we call a data model, you're going to make sure that it is valid, consistent, simple, and it's you'll see that you can see the different relationship between the data and the constraint. The data is non-redundant. Yes, Natalia?
Yes, can we try again? Sorry.
Can we do that on the break? Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And make sure that the data model is shareable. It means that any particular application or technology can use it. It could be you can extend it. It could evolve, meaning that if, for example, tomorrow I would say I need to add the preferences of the customer, I need to be able to add it. Integrity, meaning that if I'm deleting it, I cannot delete the customer knowing that the customer already have all the a lot of data in the system. And what is the most important regarding the data model is the fact that we have to have a diagram, meaning by using whether a class diagram or any other diagram, what's how the entities and model, I would say entities of the organization, they relate to each other. Now, when you design a database, there's actually three phases. There's the conceptual database design, there's the logical design, and there's the physical design. What are they? When you do the conceptual design, you're just actually seeing what are the entities, and you're actually making sure that those entities, what are their match in the organization. One entity could be customer, one entity could be a property, one entity could be a patient. It depends on the organization. And once you finish with the conceptual database design, you go to the logical database design, where you're actually constructing a model of data that will be used for a specific, or that will be used for a database or a particular database. And there will be also some physical consideration. Now, the physical database, this is actually when you said, okay, this will be tailored to a specific database system. So I'm going to say it again. Conceptual database, mostly you're getting the data after you collect all the information from the customer. You're trying to build the entities or model. For example, you have a model called customer, you have a model called patient. Now the logical is you're now starting to construct your model to make sure that to make sure that to make sure that it can be used in enterprise, and it should not actually depend on any DBMS. And the physical database is actually depend on the DBMS. One example of physical database, when you see, for example, create table, those are the physical database design. When a logical one is the one that I showed you a few weeks ago, a conceptual one is most likely, this is what actually we're going to see in a few minutes. So what you need to know about the design, it is important to design it and to spend more time on designing it before you implement it. Because if you don't do that, you're not going actually to have all those criteria to produce when it comes to database. And most importantly, a lot of people, when they don't spend time in the database, what's going to happen? They have redundant information. They have integrity issue. The database the database cannot evolve. So this is important to spend most of the time in the design, conceptual design, logical design, so that your database could be optimal. The data model you produce would be optimal. Now, any questions so far?
What is the difference between conceptual and logical?
We're going to see that. Conceptual, you will see, first of all, you are designing the how would I say that? You're designing the model, the entities, and you're actually showing the interaction between them. The logical, mostly, is to see the relationship. For example, when you do the logical, for example, you will do the conceptual, you will say a customer have an address. But in the logical database, you will see customer address. So let me show you actually in the lucid chart.
So like conceptual has more explanations basically than logical. Logical is
Yes, exactly. The conceptual has more explanation than the logical. The logical has the same explanation, but for example, hold on. You guys see my screen?
no.
Nope.
Hold on. Hold on a second. Are we there?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when you start with the conceptual, okay, if I go to second. So usually when we do the conceptual, it could present or can have different type of form. Okay. Where is this here? For example, whenever you're dealing with conceptual, let's say, for example, I have that. Let me use this. Which will be simpler.
How did you add that shape, by the way? That
You click shapes here, and then you select UML to have it.
thank
Okay. So you have, first of all, entity, or you could say class. For example, I said customer, okay? And you type make appointment, okay? For the logical, you could have almost the same customer appointment. All right. So I'm not going to into the detail regarding the relationship for now. All right. Now the physical database would be something. How do I say that? You will find that, first of all, I'm going to write the script. Create customer. And then you have all the attributes related to customer. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Okay, so one more question.
Okay.
So in terms of conceptual, are we showing the relationships like 0 to many, 1 to many, like different types of arrows, like subclass, I forgot how is it called, like like stuff is like the main one, then something goes below, like accounting, financial. So I mean, are we showing those relationship in conceptual or in logical? Like,
Okay, that's a good question. Now, usually they show them in both of them. They usually show them in both of them.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so for example, for that example that you have here, you will see that. Sorry, let me share my screen again. You see that one customer, and you start putting the relationship, stating, okay, one customer can make an appointment, one or many appointments. And then one appointment can only be made by one customer. But in the logical, you will see that you have something like this. And then you put the relationship between them.
Okay.
In the physical now, you only have create customer, and then when you do create appointment, okay, when you do create appointment, you're going to have a reference from customer, which we're going to see in a few minutes. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Yes, Yunki.
Hi, Professor. Could you go back to your screen,
Yeah,
Lucy
sure.
chat? So the first one, conceptual has the action make,
Mhm.
and logical just has a relationship they are related,
Yes,
and the physical just
it's a
actually
script. It's a
the
script.
so just the choose of that, just the result, right?
Let me actually show you like a physical database so that you can
Oh,
have
quick
an
question.
idea. Yeah, yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. So just the conceptual and the logical, the difference is conceptual has the action, but logical doesn't have the fact, the
No,
action, just have
no,
the
no.
relation. They're related. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But-
Thank you.
So here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you the truth about that, is the fact that sometimes you will see people actually, doing a conceptual model a little bit different. They can use what we call a mind map to do the conceptual. They can use another tool, sticky note, to do the conceptual. Because we are in a concept state. And then when it comes to logical, you will have all these relationships. Okay. Now, my preference, okay, as someone who has worked with database, I always do my conceptual with relationship. Meaning, if you go there, I will always say customer make appointment. And if I put the doctor, I would say doctor have an appointment too. Okay. I would say, for example, a customer, sorry. I would say doctor have an appointment.
You mean conform appointment?
Yeah, you can confirm an appointment or have an appointment. Yes, you can do that. Thank you. I would say the customer can make a payment. All right. And then I would say also a payment is linked to an invoice. Okay. And I would say again, an invoice is billed to the customer. So are you guys there?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I usually do. Okay. Now you don't have to follow the same thing I did. You can actually, for example, use a mind map. Okay. Let me see if I can find a mind map here. Okay, so okay, I'm I'm not upgrading today. So the mind map, what it does, okay, I have, for example, I would say here, this is not the mind map, but an example. I will have here a customer, and I will say, okay, what the customer will have. Okay, I would say it have, for example, first name, last name, and etc. You understand?
Is it really matters what shape you use?
For that, I mean, here, the reason I'm using that shape is because I don't have access to, for the mind map, that's because I don't have access to the mind map. But when you're doing the conceptual, when I'm using the conceptual, I always make sure, first of all, the entities are represented by a square, and the association or the action to that entity is represented by a diamond. So those are the two techniques that I usually do. I usually use to draw a conceptual diagram or the conceptual model for the database. There's plenty out there, but to simplify, I'll give you those two. And after that, you can by yourself go and find the other ones. Okay, any questions so far?
Yeah.
Yes, what is the question?
Could you go to the Lucid chart? I just wanted to know what's this thing on the left, which it says create customer, create appointment. That's an example of a physical.
Yes, that's an example of physical. I'm going to show you a real example.
I know. That's okay. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what that was. Thank you. That's it.
This is an example of the physical, actually. This is how it is.
Okay.
This is the physical model. And there's a lot of languages, actually. There's a lot of languages, actually, that help me define that physical. And it will be stored. It will be stored in the computer on the server. So when I ask you to give me the physical model, you will give me something like this.
Okay.
And it's written in MySQL, right?
This one, yes, it's written in MySQL.
This is a kind of depiction in the SQL version, correct, Professor? Like how you see there, and this is how you look here, correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
No, I'm saying this is the way that to depict like how you see in the SQL version.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Now for the access,
what's going behind the scene? Correct, makes sense.
Exactly, what's going behind the scene. For the access, okay, so when you're creating an Excel file, what do you get? Janet.
Spreadsheet?
Yeah, you get an Excel sheet. Now, when you create an access database, you get actually a file, a physical file that is .accb. Now, that one is the physical database for access. Now, you see the difference now is that for access, I have .accb, but for MySQL, I have something else, meaning that the physical database, the physical model is actually tied to the database in itself. Later on, you will see how we can convert from one physical model to another physical model, having the same physical model, but for different database, meaning to move the access to MySQL, the access to Microsoft SQL Server. John. Are you there, John?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Do you understand? Do you have any question?
I have several questions, but I just want to, take in everything and then probably give the questions afterwards.
Yeah, you can ask them now because I'm going very fast this afternoon.
Okay. 1 second. I'm sorry. Can you explain the access part again? I just didn't really understand that part.
Okay. So when you create access, when you create an Excel file, all right?
Right.
You get a physical, you create Excel sheet. You get a physical file, okay? .xlx, right?
Correct.
Now, when you create access, for access, you get .accb, something like this.
Right.
All right. So this is actually the physical database, and each side there is the physical model of that.
Wait.
The physical model is inside that file.
Okay.
Okay. So when I'm showing you that SQL script a little bit earlier, this one is for MySQL.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Any other question? Catherine, is that okay?
Yes, I do have one question
Mm-hmm.
for the physical database that you just showed us.
Mm-hmm.
How will you show us like an example of how to like actually type that like later on?
Yes, we will do that actually during the month of October, where I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, both in MySQL and Access. But
Okay,
mostly,
great.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Now let's try now to do one exercise.
Sorry, Professor. Can I ask you a general question?
Yep, sure.
You know how we're drawing all these charts under lucid charting, etc. And you showed us a little bit of a code looking at part on MySQL.
Mm-hmm.
How do you connect those two? I mean, are they? Is there any way to, I guess, I don't know, revert from one to another? Like, what's the point of drawing the charts separately and having the the script on the side separately?
Yes, actually, there's a way to do that, and I'm going to show you that to you actually later on.
Oh, great, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any more question? Okay. So now let's do the conceptual model, okay, for the homework that I give regarding the property. I need a volunteer to show his or her screen so that we can do it together. Anyone? Okay, I'll choose. Ranjal? Ranjal, can you do it? Hello, hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Can I just volunteer to do it?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. I think I have to able me to share screen.
Okay. Yeah, Ranjal, unfortunately, we cannot hear you. So Chen is going to do it.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
And where do I go now?
Open Chrome, go to Lucid Chart. I believe that you already created an account, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Now you click on New, blank document. Okay. Now, let's try the first method, meaning that with the square and the diamond operators. No, sorry, go up, go up, go up. Oh, okay, you want. You don't have it. Okay, right. Let's go with UML. Okay, we now have a property, right? Sorry, I forgot to mention one thing. While Chen is actually doing that example, I want you all go to Zillow.com. Go to Zillow.com and then select any property or any listing. I'll say any listing. Can you do that too, Chen?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Actually, I'm gonna try to see if I can do it on my phone.
Okay.
What's the website? Zillow?
No, yeah, Zillow. Yeah, you can do it on Google Chrome so that everyone can actually see it.
Okay, sorry, the sharing screen is kind of blocking the tabs. Okay. Is it this?
Yes, Zillow, yes.
Okay.
So how many of you have went to that website before?
I never been on this website before.
Okay, all right, no
I
problem.
use
So-
it before.
I use it as well.
I have.
Okay, awesome. So most of you maybe are familiar with Zillow or Trulia. You're the same. Now type any property. I mean, type 33 Riverview. Riverview.
What is it?
On the search bar, 33.
Okay.
Enter the address 33 Riverview.
30.
Riverview.
Riverview. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's leave it as it is here. Now, if you see here, you have like a view, okay? This is what we call a view. And that view is coming from the database, all right? Now, all those information that you're seeing, 33 Riverview Drive, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. And if you scroll down, oh, these does not have too much information. Let me send you the address on the chat. Did you get it?
Not yet.
Okay, I sent you the link. You just click on that link.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so you see, first of all, the address. And then if you go down, you will see a view. You will have Z estimate, which is the estimation. And you have the date it was set, a range, the changes in the last 30 days. If you go to home details, okay, you will see a lot of details regarding the home, and you will see also information regarding the neighborhood. If you click on the neighborhood, okay, you will see information regarding the neighborhood. If you scroll up a little bit, you will see everything related to tax, all right, property tax history. If you go up again, you will see the price history and change. If you go up, you will see some facts and feature, meaning that what is this type of residence, the year it was built, the lot, if it has heating, what type of heating does it have. So those are all the information related to the property. Now, back to your lucid chart. Now, I want you guys to actually tell me a property. What other information that we have from that screen that can tell us, okay, beside the property that we already know, that can tell us exactly, that can give us another information regarding, I don't know, what, regarding the property.
I mean, the different fields which we can identify.
Yes. So those fields, you will see their address, zip code.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
The lot size,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure now you have seen what we call price history, right?
Correct.
So my question for you, should I create a new entity for price, or it should be part of the property?
It should be part of the property, right?
Okay. Any other suggestion?
Are you talking about the
property?
So the database, what's included in the entity, or?
In the entity, yes.
Well, in a database, it should be in the entity, under the entity.
Okay.
The attributes of this entity.
Yes. How about you, Kyriakos?
I think you could create an entity for price. You could I assume you could put in data regarding historical price of the area of the property, and and any changes that might have happened throughout, as much data as is available, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. So here's what happened. Xinpei said that it should be under property, which is right. The price of the property should be under property. Now, Kyriakos is saying that it should be another entity. And they're both right when we're collecting requirements. Now, the thing is that on the property, instead of putting the price, we're going to put, I don't know, maybe the actual value of the property. And the price history, we're going to put what price does it have, and also the date the price has changed. Sanjana, want to say something?
No, Professor.
Okay, all right. All right, so now let's stick with property. Okay, now what do you see in the website regarding that address, that specific address? I'm trying now to make sure that you understand what's happening behind that Zillow.
When it was sold.
It was sold, yes. But most importantly, Chen, if you go back.
Is it for range or for sale?
Yeah. So the thing is that it was sold on 06/26, right? 2020, last year. But if you go down a little bit, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Okay, go up a little bit. Stop. Stop. Sorry. Go when you see create go down a little bit.
Mhm.
Stop. What do you see here? Work with an agent. Sell it yourself. Create listing. What does that mean?
It means if you would like to have a broker to represent you during all this selling process.
Okay. So what are we going to put actually in the Lucid chart? We're going to put as an entity, an agent. Okay. An agent, what does it have?
A
A name, first name, yes. Last name, we put a license, because if you need to sell property, you actually need a license, a real estate license, okay? So let's stick with those three. Now, what's happening between property and agent?
License number?
I'm sorry.
License number.
Agent registration number?
No, so what's
Agent-
happening between those two entities actually?
Agent lists the property.
Yes, an agent lists a property. An agent lists a property. List, sorry, L-I-S-T. Yeah, an agent lists a property actually. So the agent will list a property. So this is actually your first conceptual model regarding the agent list a property, all right? Now, you can also have or state that the property, like Kiyako said, and that Shime had said also, it could have multiple prices. The price is important in the fact that you need to also track all the prices for the property, right? Now you're going to create another entity called property price. What does it have? What does it have? Arunima?
Yes.
Yes. So the property price showing the history. So you have that at a Zillow open in front of you, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it has a list of price history. So you're going to put them. Is that right? So it has a price and it has the date.
Yep.
Okay. And
Yeah.
we can go further and says, okay, the price was from January to September. From January to September, the property cost 200,000. But from from January to September, it was 200,000. But now, from September to December, or from now, it will be 300,000. All right. So it will have a start date and an end date. Okay. All right. That we're doing actually the conceptual model.
Yep.
Now, the property. What does it have after that? Let's say, for example, I want to know what's actually surrounding the property. Is there a lake? Is there a park?
Does that come under the neighborhood?
Yes. Neighborhood. We can put neighborhood. Put neighborhood. What else? Let's say, for example, you say that property, it has a garage, it has heat, it has water, solar panel.
Facts and features.
Features, yes, you said that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. You have features. What else?
HOA.
I'm sorry?
HOA.
Yes, HOA, okay, it's gonna be part of the property, okay? It's gonna be part of the property, or mostly it's gonna be part of the property. But we can put it. We can put it after that. We'll try to refine it.
Maybe, Professor, it can be part of the price, like how much price you. It's both are connected, correct? The HOA side.
HOA.
Yeah, isn't that connected with the price, like the property price? I mean, somehow we can show the relationship.
Yes, yes, it could be related to the property price as well. You're right. So one thing, actually, there's actually no silver bullet for any modeling. It all depends on the requirement. All right, so now we don't know the requirements, but based on the view, you're trying to deduct the requirement. What else do we have?
Property taxes.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Property taxes, or do they come under the price too?
Yes, 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 yes. You're right. Property taxes. Property taxes. It is an entity as well.
I think also have the property type of the property. For example, it's condo or is a single family or is a land or
Yes.
anything else.
Yes, yes, yes. You're correct.
And would the
Property type.
would
You
the-
put property type.
Professor, would would the whether it's commercial or residential come under this too?
Yes, we can put that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you put that? Can you put them, Chen? You have property tax as well.
What's the other one? Property tax and
To check whether if it is commercial or residential.
okay. Commercial.
Professor, regarding that single house or a multi-view or something like that, the apartment or a condo, where that should be, it should be in the property type?
Yes, it should be in the property type, actually.
For this
now,
Professor?
it's going to be in the property type. Now, I'm going to introduce a new concept with you in a few minutes regarding that property type. Okay, but just bear with me. I just need to make sure that you all understand. So the exercise is for everyone, please. Participate, okay? Participate now. What else?
Hey, Professor. So all of these text in the squares account for the entity, right?
Yes.
Okay, make sure.
The lot size.
Lot size, it goes on the property, yes.
And if you go to the Zillow website, it should have a property ID, right? To identify it.
Yes. It
Or
will
not.
also go, yeah, it will also go under the property as well.
Who listed under the school district or no?
It could be features,
I mean,
neighborhood.
I go on Zillow, I always check for the schools.
Yeah, neighborhood. It's under
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can come under the neighborhood.
Okay.
Can we include owner's details?
Yes. Good. Good. Yes.
And one more question I would like to ask is that like all these we can also consider as attributes.
We can consider them as attributes, but when we go into detail, you would find out, for example, the owner. Okay. The
Okay,
owner.
yeah, like owner, we can consider as a separate entity, but like property type, or is it commercial or residential? Can we consider all these things under attributes?
Yes, they could be attributes as well, and we're going to see that. But now we're trying to determine all the entities so that we can actually see what is the relationship between them.
Okay, okay, I got it.
Okay, awesome. Anyone else want to add something?
About zoning area.
I'm sorry?
Would zoning area count?
Yes, zoning area, we could put it in neighborhood as well. What else?
What about the views on the property? Like we just looked on Zillow. How many people have you viewed the property? Would that matter? Or how many people have saved the property? Does that count or no?
It's not counting yet because we just need to store information regarding the property. So that is for something, it will be part of the database, but that's not actually the main requirements for the database.
Okay.
Okay, now for that, do you guys understand what is entities and how do we get them?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Tia. Now, do you want to do another exercise, or do you want now to determine the attributes for each entity?
Determine the attributes.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, so the property. Let's have, for example, 3 attributes for each one of them. Okay, so Chen, you're going to put parentheses. so far because you're using you're not really using a class diagram, which is fine. Okay. Give me something that will actually tell me a property. What is the property? What will identify a property?
The address.
The ID.
The address, yes. The address.
Or the ID.
For the ID, we don't need it right now, okay? Because, for example, if you go, like for example, you want to buy a home or looking for buy a condo or apartment, actually, you will need the address, okay, but not the ID.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Maybe the MSR code, like for that property listing on the Zillow, that unique ID code.
Yes, it is also still an ID, but when you're looking for what you, let's say for example, you're looking to buy a house, first thing is the address. Is that right?
Yep.
Let's go basic, and then after that we'll go a little bit higher and more complicated. Okay, Shinas, are you there? I'm not hearing you. You're here? You're not sleeping?
I'm here.
Okay, awesome. What else for the property? Only three.
Square feet.
Square footage. Yeah.
Square footage, yeah. Square
And
footage.
the number of bedroom and the bathroom.
Yes, number of bedroom and bathroom.
Year of construction.
Yes, year built. Okay, we stop for now. How about the agent?
Year of practice and
Full name, maybe license number.
Exactly.
Phone number.
First name,
Phone number.
last name, phone number.
Address.
Email address.
Address, yes.
Office address, agent.
License number.
Rating of the agent.
Yeah, we can. Okay, yeah, let's put it that way. Okay. Now
That's
let's.
a pretty important one.
I think that's the most important one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you guys saying that there's an agent who are not serious out there? Okay, now let's go down. Now, owner, what are the attributes for owner?
Their name.
Yeah, name, email, contact information.
Credit score.
Yeah, credit score, yes.
Ownership.
I'm sorry.
Ownership.
What do you mean by ownership?
Is for is for rent or for sale.
The owner.
Yeah. The owner wants to sell it or just rent it.
Oh, okay. I see. Thank you very much. So it means that the ownership type.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. The ownership type. Okay. Now, how about property tax?
Local or state
Uh-huh.
tax.
Most likely the property tax are local, right?
Okay.
I don't think you pay federal taxes for property in the United
That was
States.
again if it's commercial or residential, but this is residential, so local. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what should we put there? Elaine, you have an idea?
like the percentage of the price, or like how much?
Yeah, usually what they do,
Uh-huh.
they just send you a tax receipt, which
Gotcha.
gives you the amount and the year that you actually owe.
Uh-huh.
So I would say, first of all, the year,
Mhm.
the amount. What else we can put?
How about school tax?
It's
And it's not
actually inside the receipt. So we
Okay.
might now be interested only in getting the year and the amount.
How about the department?
Department, we don't
Yeah.
need that actually, because we just need information regarding the tax property. You know, we are not actually modeling the receipt. You see what I mean? The tax receipt. So a property, for example, it has a tax receipt, okay, which gives you department, like you said, which gives you the breakdown for the school tax, etc. But here we're just talking about the property tax.
No, I
In
mean,
global-
I'm sorry to interrupt. I mean, just who charge you this property tax? If the property is in Florida, then Florida department charge you. If it's in New York, then New York department charge you.
Oh, I see. So you mean that the state, right?
Yeah, so which department of the state charge you, or which state charge you?
Okay. So here's the thing. So that now I can put the state here, but actually the property is only taxed by the local state. I don't know how it is for the city of Kansas, okay, because Kansas is actually between two states. It's actually between two states, but actually you don't need that information to identify, okay, the tax.
Okay,
You-
so which means I use the state information to determine the property location, right?
Yes, the address gives you the property location already.
Oh, okay, I understand right now. Thank you.
Okay. What else?
The person who tests to.
I think, Professor, how long the duration of the property, that also. Like how, because if the property is like 10 years old or 20 years old, so how much will be the taxation? Will that something?
So this is actually included in the tax receipt.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say, for example, we just only need the year and the amount, like we see in the Zillow. That's all you need, right? That's all the information that you need.
And Professor, would the tax history be included in that too?
The tax receipt?
Tax history.
Yes, tax history should be inside of it too. But we're going to discuss that a little bit later.
Tax account.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Tax account number.
I don't think we need that for the Zillow for the page. Okay.
Okay. I thought they just link the tax account to the property, right?
Yes, but now, so here's the thing. Let's stay in scope in the fact that we're only interested in the property, not something that is actually behind that property. Okay, so we're not going, for example, to go to the title of the property. All right, we're not going into those information. Okay, or seeing the history of the owner. Okay.
Excuse me, Professor. How about the tax exempt?
If it's tax exempt or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be information on the property. That's how I would think. Okay. Because
okay, I got
okay. All right. Now let's go to property type. What can we put here?
Commercial or residential?
Okay. Now, my question for you, what is the difference between commercial and residential? And then when you have condo, when you have apartment, when you have a land, or single family or multifamily?
Or we can say that the target market, is it for individual or for organization?
Okay. But you know, an organization can actually purchase a home, right?
All right.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do actually, you see where you put property type when you have house, condo, apartment? Okay, I'm going to call it building type, for example, instead of property type. Okay, it could be house. I mean, I would put, okay, the type.
Oh,
as an
sorry, I thought you
attribute.
were just mentioning.
Type, just put type. Because
Okay.
when you put house, condo, they're all gonna be how would I say that? They're all gonna be data. And where you put commercial, residential, I'll put property type. Okay, now before we go on break, if you scroll up a little bit, Chen. Now, question. The property and the property price, okay? No, sorry. A property belongs to a neighborhood. Right. Are you guys there?
yes.
Okay. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay. A property, it has many features. A property has a owner. Ihor, you understand?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Joey, are you there?
Yes, Professor.
Yeah, you understand? You have any question, concern?
No.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Because do we can we just drag like the relationship directly to like this property now to neighborhood? Do we have to do this put the diamond thing there? Because now it's looking very I don't know.
Clear.
Yeah. Is there a way to just
We can do that.
directly?
This is when you do the logical. This is when you do the logical model.
Okay, okay. So would you, if it's like a direct relationship, that's under which one?
Yes. I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
What I was asking was, okay, so what she did was create another I don't know, the diamond thing, I don't know what it's called. And then she tracks the relationship to from the property to the neighborhood where she put the belong. So I'm saying, is it possible to just drag it, like just put the arrow directly from neighborhood to property?
Yes, we can do that when we're going to do the logical.
For
We
the
can do that.
logical.
Yeah, for the logical.
Okay.
Okay. So when we have the conceptual, we are going to transform it into the logical. So as long as you practice every day, now one day you actually won't need the conceptual, you'll go directly to the logical. Because when I'm designing database, I go straight to the logical.
Okay.
But if it is a difficult subject, I do the conceptual. Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So let's stop here for 5 minutes. No, 10-minute break. And then we will get back. We will do another example, this time with a patient for hospital. Okay. And then after that, we will discuss about the project. Now, if you have any question, please let me know. Okay. Natalia, are you still there?
Yeah.
You want to share a screen? Is that possible?
Yes. Well, let me try again. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Okay, so that is how I said that. So you have installed Docker. You're actually using a SQL Server. Okay, so most likely, okay, you'll be using SQL Server, and I really appreciate the fact that you're innovating. Okay, what I will do, okay, so you download Workbench, right? MySQL Workbench.
I don't think I did because I went back to look at the instruction and I think I might have done it differently. So I don't think I downloaded the Workbench.
Okay, that's fine. So let's try to download the Workbench first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Workbench is it's an SQL website, or where do I get it?
MySQL Workbench.
Okay, and then I don't want to do it now because I also need a break.
Okay.
but I'll do that and we'll get back to it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do it the other way and try.
No problem.
This. Yeah.
Because now you're actually implementing a SQL Server. Okay. So I wanted to do it with you, but there's an issue. I couldn't find how would I say that something that would connect to SQL Server like Access does. Okay, but you're more than welcome in your project to use SQL Server and innovate. All right.
I don't even, to be honest, like, because I'm not really understanding this whole thing. I don't understand what the difference is. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can talk about it later. Yeah, we can talk once I try that way and see how it
Okay.
works.
All right, no problem.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So take your break and then we will get back at 43. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Anyone has any question regarding the exercise that we did?
Hey, Professor, just a quick questions. So
Yes.
regarding we talked just now is you said that is a logical approach, right? Or it's not a conceptual approach?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
The so the student just did the share screen like so it's a logic approach, right? It's not...
No, this is a conceptual.
Okay, thank you.
All right, awesome. So we're going to do another conceptual just to make sure that you guys understand, right? So I think one child, you're still here.
Yes, Professor.
Okay, you still want to volunteer to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Let me do that.
Okay. I just made you co-host.
Excuse me, Professor. Can I ask a question?
Okay, let me know once everybody sees my screen.
Yeah. Yes, Ihor.
Yeah, I have a question. Like regarding this this conceptual model we are working right now. It's just specific task oriented, right? For example, if you develop in the software more customer oriented, it should be more properties regarding customers, stuff like that. It shouldn't be included every possible feature the property has. It depends what test we need to do, right?
It depends on, it depends actually on the application that we are going to develop.
Oh yeah, I see. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, Professor, I'm ready.
Okay, so we are going to have a new template, not template, sorry, a blank document, but we are going to do it now for a clinic that manages a patient or for a clinic. We're going to do it for a clinic. Now, for a clinic, what do we have as model, as entity? What do we have? Janet.
Which Janet?
I'm sorry?
I think there are two Janets.
There's two. Janet Ding.
Okay, it's me.
Okay, yes. So what do we have as entity?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, so the thing is that we are doing actually a data model, the conceptual model for a clinic. You know, when you go to a clinic, you see a doctor because you made an appointment, and then after that, they do a procedure, and then they send you a billing, and then you have to pay, and then you come back for another visit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we have?
The appointment, maybe.
I'm sorry?
The appointment.
Yes, we have an appointment.
and then you will have to like fill in your first name and last name, your insurance, your
Yes.
insurance company.
So when you come in, how they give you a name, right? They call you a patient.
Yeah.
Yes, they call you a patient, right? So after appointment, we have another entity. We call it patient. You don't need to put a class diagram as of now. We're going to use them in the logical.
Okay, let me remove.
Yeah. Now, Crystal, after patient, what do we have as an entity?
Doctor.
Doctor, yes, correct. You have a doctor. What else, Jung Lee?
Let me see. Doctor. I mean, the location.
We're talking about the clinic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the clinic is at a fixed location. Let's say that, okay, we're all going to the clinic, okay? So we need actually a data model that is showing what's happening inside the clinic, okay?
Yes.
So we aren't actually inside the clinic. We already know that it is at a location, okay? For example, Bayshore. So what else do we know inside the clinic beside patient, doctor, and appointment for entities?
Maybe patient's document.
Yes, we have patient document.
Yeah.
What do you mean by patient document?
Like patient's insurance or something else. Like that.
Okay, we're going to put patient insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Jingxian, what else?
The receptionist.
Yes, the receptionist. How about you, Jingyin?
And I think we also need the payment information.
Payment information, correct. Payment information.
Professor, why patient insurance is not the attribute of the actual patient, why it's a separate entity?
We're going to see that. The reason why, it's because in the patient insurance, you have a lot of information that is actually, you cannot put on the patient. For example, the group insurance, right? The insurance company, right? It is in a document.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
When you come in, actually, sometimes you could see that the patient may have an insurance or may not have an insurance. You still need to model that.
Professor, so right now it sort of looks like a brainstorming. Basically,
Yes.
the ideas of like what goes into our database.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily organized and logical yet, so it's just more like like
brainstorming. Yeah, we're doing like a conceptual. Yeah, that's why I call it conceptual.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Professor, it's like gathering as much as information we can and make a logical relationship between.
Exactly. What else do we have, Jason?
Maybe nurses.
Nurse, yes, correct. You put a nurse. Alexandra?
How about medical history?
Yes, medical history. What else?
Specialization.
Specialization. Yes, we could put specialization is for the doctor, right?
And yeah, and the
Okay.
type of services it provide.
Okay. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to limit it to the fact that we're just only going to doctor to do a regular checkup, okay? General checkup. So let's not put other branches, okay? Let's just put only, we're doing only the regular checkup, okay? As type of service, we only do one service, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? There's one thing missing.
The
here.
pharmacy.
You can put the pharmacy, yeah. But there's one thing missing here. It is important to have it. Gianni, any idea?
Is it symptoms?
I'm sorry?
Symptoms.
Sentence?
Symptoms.
Symptoms.
I'm sorry, can you write it down on the chat? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Symptoms, oh, okay. Yeah, you can put it there. Yes. Yes, emergency contact, yeah. But there's something else that is missing that is really important.
What about the reason for a visit?
Yes, we can put it as a attribute actually
Do
in
we
the
put
appointment.
do we put the clinic itself or hospital as an entity?
No. We don't put it here. In the scope that I'm in, actually, we don't need that.
Okay.
Results after checkup. Yes, we can do that.
Professor, what about if they're an existing or new patient? Does that go?
That's why we have the patient, actually.
Okay.
But thank you. Yes, appointment time slot will be in the appointment.
Professor, I had a question.
Yes.
Is it possible to get like the entities and the attributes mixed up? Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that like some of the things like the payment information, patient insurance, medical history, and all of that, I feel like it could also work as an attribute for receptionist, because I feel like the first thing you do in the hospital is you check in and then you do all of that, and then the receptionist takes you to, you know, I mean, they direct you to your doctor or nurse. So I'm just confused. With like
So
some of the attributes, like sometimes I feel like it can be mistaken. I mean, the entities can be mistaken for attributes.
yeah, sometimes they can be mistaken for attributes. That's why after the conceptual, we're doing like a refinement and see which one is actually an attribute and which one is actually an entity. Okay, but we're going to see that when we're going to do the refinement. So I want you to add for me invoice, because before you make a payment, you need an invoice. All right, that's it for now. So one thing I would like you to notice here, there is patient, doctor, receptionist, nurse. All right. They're all here. Most likely you will find the same information again and again. Meaning, if you go to nurse, what attributes will you have? First name, last name, email, address, right? Same thing for receptionist, same thing for patient, same thing for doctor. Is that right?
So basically, it's if to generalize, it's a staff, and under the staff, it should be receptionist, doctor, and nurse, right?
Exactly, exactly. You will have to do what we call a generalization here. So if you can group them for me, please, Panchal, you will have receptionist, patient.
So are we
nurse.
calling it a person?
Yes, we're going to call it person. Okay, and then we will have some sort of link, a generalization, the arrow up that will specifically says that, okay, we have a generalization. Now, I'm going to explain again. The reason why we have that is because at the end, whenever we are seeing mostly we have 4, 5, 6 class that are actually the same attribute, meaning you have patient, receptionist, nurse, doctor, they all have first name, last name, email, address, phone number. Then we have a generalization here. What does that mean? We can create an entity that has name person, which contain all the information that is common to all of them. That's what we call generalization.
So, Professor, the triangle that we use for generalization, is it a separate, like graphical? Is this the triangle we use, or this triangle is meant to be for generalization?
Are you talking about the arrow or the rectangle?
The triangle that we use for generalization.
Yes, this is what you did is good, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Now, do you guys have any questions so far for that? Do you guys understand? If you don't understand, I can repeat it again.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have multiple entities: doctor, nurse, receptionist, patient, and actually I can even put technician lab. Okay, can you put that for me? Technician lab. So what information identify, Abhishek, what information identify a patient? Basic information. We have first name, last name, last name. Okay, let's go with first name, last name, and then phone number. Okay. How about the receptionist? We have first name, last name, phone number. Okay. Crystal, for nurse, we have first name, last name, phone number, right?
Yes.
Esther, same thing also for lab technician.
Yes.
You have first name, last name, phone number. Same thing for the doctor too. So what we do whenever we encounter that situation, we need to say, hey, I'm going to create another entity that have those common names or those common attribute, first name, last name, email, phone number, and I'm going to call it person. And I'm going actually to make a link, making sure that I will point it to the person, entity, and you're good. This is what we call generalization. When we do generalization, patient, receptionist, nurse, doctor, lab technician, they became what we call sub-entities. In UML, they call them subclass, okay? They are still entities, but we put the name sub because they have a generalization. So when I go to patient, I actually still have first name, last name, email, phone number. When I go to receptionist, I still have first name, last name, email, phone number. The nurse, the same thing. The doctor, the same thing. The lab technician, the same thing as well. Florina, do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, awesome. Any question?
Yeah, I do have one question. So all these attributes like first name, last name, email, phone number, that's were all existing for all 5 different entities. But what if other than these 5, like what if like the lab technician has something different? So can I group the lab technician into the same generalization, or I should separate from the person entity?
So right now, okay, if the lab technician asks something else, for example, a license, okay, you can put it under lab technician. Don't put it under person. Okay.
So you mean if there's one one attribute that doesn't belong to this generalization, I should put a subcategory under the lab technician. Am I correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
For example, let's say that license. Okay. Does a patient has a license? No. The receptionist. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but we don't think so. Okay. It's not necessary. The nurse. Yes. The doctor, yes. Lab technician, maybe. Okay. So what you can do, okay, you can put license under nurse and doctor, or you can go a little bit how would I say? You can go you can do something more complex. You do another generalization only for nurse and doctor, but we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that today. Because for me personally, when I'm doing that, I don't even do that. I don't even do that in my line of work. Okay, I only make sure that I only have one generalization or maximum 2 generalization. Okay.
Gotcha.
Just because I don't want things to be too complex.
Okay.
All right.
So so if I do have a subcategory, so I should still use the rectangle one
yes.
for my like sub. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Exactly. Now go down a little bit. Now we have medical history. we would say a patient has a medical history, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, the patient has a medical, everyone has a medical history, right? An appointment, a patient can make an appointment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? A patient can have an insurance. This is what I was talking about, patient insurance, right?
Yeah.
A patient can actually make a payment. What else?
Symptoms,
Yes, patient may have symptoms.
emergency contact.
Yes, the patient has an emergency contact. So awesome.
Payment information of the patient.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Payment information.
Yeah, payment information, yes. We have it. Patient has some payment information.
The patient. Maybe in future patient will have invoice.
Yes, patient will have invoice. We all, whenever we go to the doctor, we all have invoice, even if their insurance paid for us. There's always an invoice. So do you guys understand that exercise?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to, I would recommend that you redo those two exercises. Okay. So Chen and Guanchal, if you can share those chart, okay, on Microsoft Teams so that everyone can have access to it and can review it, that would be good.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Professor, regarding the Microsoft Teams, somehow I cannot access the team. Like when I click on the link, it says the team does not exist.
It says that?
Yeah, on my end.
Okay, so I'm going to resend the link again tonight, and then I'm going to send the code as well so that you can all have access to it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So are we done with this?
Oh, no. We continue. We're continuing. If you go down, Punchal, a little bit. So what's happening with invoice, results, and we have also specialization. Let's start with specialization. We say that the doctor has a specialization, right? Okay, we have the patient receive an invoice. the patient also pay for the invoice, right? And the lab technician sends the results to the patient. Yes.
So if I was wondering if we have invoice as a class or entity.
Entity,
then
yes.
We should also have payment as a entity, or this is what we mean by that.
Yeah, we can have payment as entity as well.
So this is that, or this is separate payment information.
So the thing is that there is actually the payment information and the actual payment. The payment information, it could be related to the credit card, a check, or cash, or Bitcoin. But the, sorry, I mean, when I said payment information, it could be, for example, a credit card. But the payment actually is that what is the money that is actually that is covering the invoice. So of course you will have the payment information and you have the payment in itself. We'll discuss more about that in the logical model. Any question?
Professor, are you going to explain how those subcategory, I mean, sub-entities and entities connect between each other in terms of like primary key, foreign key, or it's supposed to be on other lecture?
Yeah, it will be on another lecture actually. And I'm going to show you in another lecture how to determine actually what should be a primary key or not.
So basically all these rectangulars are kind of like, in terms of physical model, is separate tables. I mean, separate.
Yes, they are all separate tables.
I see, thank you.
So basically for some of the attribute, like for some of the entities, like the patient to like a medical history, like a patient's insurance, this is like more like a one-way relationship. But what if like two entities that can like identify like each other, like what kind of like flow chart that we can use and or whatever.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you repeat again?
So yeah, so for this chart, like patient, we can use the patient. Patient has the medical history and the patient's insurance. That's more like a one-way relation. So we have like patient first, and then we have like a medical history and the patient's insurance. But what if there's two entities that will mutually support or like existing to each other? So how can we like make the chart, like how can we draw the flow charts?
Okay, we're going to see that in the next class actually, because
thank you.
Those relationship, I would say it would be like one of the most complicated part of designing the database. If you got it wrong, how do I say it? Your system is actually doomed for a very long time until you actually redo everything. Okay, that's why I don't want to mix it with when we're doing this conceptual or when we're doing the conceptual.
And one more question. So with the same entity, like the patient medical history and the patient's insurance, can the medical history and patient insurance under like be a subcategory for like a patient or like attributes for patient, not the accepting for being the entity alone? Can we do that?
You're talking about the patient insurance?
Yeah, the patient insurance and the patient medical history, can we put it under, like, for one or two of the attributes under the patients?
No, you cannot do that right now, and I explain why. Because medical history and patient, you don't have anything in common in terms of attribute. It's just giving you the patient history, that's all.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. So when we're going to do the relationship next week, I'm going to give you more information to that, because this is going to be the most difficult part in designing a database. All right, so any question? Because I'm going to stop now.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
So before sharing this diagram, I just want to clean this diagram. So do you want me to put those diamonds and write like patient makes an appointment or something like that? Like how do you want it? Because this is
So if you already put has, or make an appointment, it's fine.
it's fine. Then.
Okay. Because I'm doing that a conceptual. I'm not going to be a little bit too rigorous about the conceptual part. I'm more rigorous in terms of the logical part and the physical part.
Okay.
All right.
So, Professor, this is an example for logical part, right?
No, conceptual.
Conceptual?
Yes.
Oh
We're
my
not.
God.
Yeah, we're not there yet in the logical.
Oh, okay. Since we have the has, right? Has the action.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Professor, I have a question. So would you mind to repeat the answer again regarding the there's a student just asked that why we cannot like put the attribution under the one of the entity that
pension. We're talking about patient insurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why we cannot like so would you mind to repeat that answer again? So
okay, so it has to do with the relationship that is between the patient and the patient insurance, and we're going to see that next week. But let me explain. You go for example to the doctor appointment. Today you have Cigna as insurance, right? But tomorrow you can have another insurance. You see what I mean? So
okay.
Actually, the database need to account for those two insurance that you already have.
So you mean like that's, I mean, those attribution information has to be dedicated to that medical history. Otherwise, we cannot like put it as an attribution on the medical history.
Exactly. You cannot put it under. You cannot put it under as an attribute under patient. And patient insurance also, it's not, how would I say that? It's not atomic. Meaning in a patient insurance, I can have the company, I can have the group policy, I can have the insurance ID, I can have, what else? For example, details of benefits.
Okay.
You see what I mean? If I have two, you have two insurance, let's say I have two insurance, two active insurance, then this is going to be a little bit complicated. That's why.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So do you guys understand so far?
So basically, Professor, as I understand, I don't know if I'm right. For example, you said the patient changed insurance somewhere, like after a few months of visiting Like let's say you had Aetna, then you changed to Cigna. So in order for a database manager, or how is it called, to update that information, he doesn't have to go to the patient table, like and change all, let's say, 10 or 15 rows. He just goes to the specific insurance table and change just the name of the insurance which pertains to like patient ID or something like that, right?
Exactly.
So this database or conceptual model is designed, as I understand, it's like an Excel spreadsheet. In order not to have like 100 columns and thousands of rows, it's like simplified for different. It's like breaking down into the pieces. So in order to change something, you just go to that small piece, change it, and you don't have to go like to the main page and change like the whole row, which has like 100 of columns, right?
Yeah, exactly. Any other question? Okay, cool. All right, thank you, everyone. Now I'm going to talk about the term project. Okay. Now, question: have you guys read the term project, the document related to the term project?
Yes.
Okay, Esther, what are your thoughts about it?
It's interesting. The topics that we can choose from are pretty interesting. At least I think so.
Okay, awesome. Okay, how about you, Abhishek?
Oh yeah, Professor. Anything on the latest on like how we have for the retail side, somewhere on that maybe we can look for.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to share my screen and to show you, first of all, my expectation regarding the project and what you should also deliver regarding that project. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the groups, okay, they were formed as follow, okay? So how did I do that? I actually used what we call wheel of names to actually, no. I didn't do that. I think the groups was formed since our last breakout room, right? On September 1st, before we all went to vacation. And I believe everyone now is in a group. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, question for you. Have you guys talked to each other before the class in terms of group?
Just created a WhatsApp group. That's it.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open breakout rooms. And for 10 minutes, we're all going to discuss about the group and the project. And after that, we'll come back and I'll ask each group a question, and then we'll go through the project. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be 6 breakout room. Room 1 for group 1, room 2 for group 2, room 3 for group 3, etc. So I'll let you choose the group. They're all gonna be open, and at 8:40, we will all come back to discuss about the project. Okay, rooms are open. Please join the breakout room. Thank you.
Hi, Professor. I don't know why I don't go to the breakout room.
Which group are you in?
Group 4.
Okay. Oh, I know why. Hold on a second, please.
I didn't get a room too.
Yes, hold on a second. I know why. Can you try again?
No, I didn't go to my room, the breakout room.
You're group 4, right, teaching?
Yeah, group 4.
Is it the same thing for you, Shinpei? All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, so question, group 1. Natalia,
Yes.
what's special tell me what is special about your group?
Were we supposed to discuss that? Sorry, were we supposed to discuss that?
I mean, this is part of it too.
Diversity.
Okay, thank you. Abhishek.
Yeah,
what is special about your group beside diversity, of course?
Yeah, I think everyone came up with some fresh ideas and, to understand and discuss and looking forward for the project. So everybody is very excited to look forward.
All right, thank you very much. Group 3. Joey.
Yeah, everyone has a positive attitude, so I feel like it's going to go very well.
Okay, awesome. So that was not the question I was going to ask, but it's fine. But I'm going to ask someone else a question. Ying.
Yes.
So tell me, how do you see the group? How do you see the group in December?
I believe that we will do very well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Group 4. Kyriakos. How do you see the group in December?
I think we'll learn a lot by then, and I think we'll do just fine with and be satisfied with what we decide for our project.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Group 5, Shinasa. What is special about your group? Shinasa, are you there? We cannot hear you. Are you there, Shinasa?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear my name. My thing keeps going off. Sorry, what was the question?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
I didn't hear you. I
Oh,
my network, so I didn't even know you were calling me.
okay, all right, no problem. So the question was, what is special about your group?
What is special about the group? Okay, first, we're all females in the group, so female empowerment. Then I think my group members are pretty organized. We already have like a group chat and we're figuring out how we're going to like have our meetings and when to meet and how we're going to go about the whole process. So I like the spirit and everything. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Group 6. Jason.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your group?
We feel good. I think we're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Oh, we do have a question for the projects. Are we picking one of the 6 or are you assigning?
To be honest, I'm still deciding whether I let you pick a project or if I assign you a project.
Okay. Okay.
So you'll get out the answer by tonight.
Okay.
Regarding this. All right. So thank you guys for answering. So I'm going to actually give you all the instruction regarding the project. First of all, the group is 5 person, max 5. Okay. So once you're in the group, you're here, right? And if for some reason during the year, we know that unforeseen things may happen, but if for some reason something like that happened, I may not know, but please let the team members know that you are dropping off the group because you're dropping the class. All right? Now, you will see that when you're reading the project, there's no requirement. It's a little bit complicated, okay? All of them are complicated. We'll get there. But, hold on a second. Hold on a second, let me share my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Yes, we can see now.
Yeah, now.
Okay, awesome. So the group, they were formed like randomly from the last session. And the reason why it was randomly assigned is for that you can collaborate between, there could be good collaboration between you guys. And in the real world, we will deal with a lot of people from different backgrounds. I'm sure some of you already are already working, and then you're experiencing that. When you are in a group, actually, there should be a captain, a vice captain. But if you guys can have code names or I don't know, something else, or assign each member a role, it's fine. You can name your team. You can name them, for example, Manchester United, I don't know, New York Giants, but just make sure that you don't give a name that is offensive. All right? Now, the project so far, I haven't decided, so I'll decide later whether to assign a project or not. And you have actually the list of projects: health application, next generation online music platform, national election system, software, for requesting document, and so on. We have all the instruction here for the project: system analysis, logical and physical modeling. When I said system analysis, I'm talking more about gathering requirements. How we're going to do that. First of all, there's two phases. First one is actually starting to know the business. For example, national election system. You need to know how election works in a country, okay? Secondly, have a meeting actually with me to tell you exactly what's gonna happen. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna have a meeting with all of you after class, okay? Meaning outside of the class. It could be 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after, just to set expectation for each project, okay? Because I am the main stakeholder for the project, and there is information, or there is some details I would like to see in those projects, all right? You will do the logical and the physical modeling. You will do the database implementation. You will do actually an application implementation, okay, whether using Access or something else, and you will write up a final report, okay, for that. And in the final report, make sure that we also have a PowerPoint presentation to show you off your work to the enterprise. It means to show off your work to me. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure you all seen that I'm going to use widely Microsoft Access and MySQL. However, I'm not limiting anyone to use only Access and MySQL. You can use another type of database. I'm open to innovation, okay? Don't go crazy, okay? Making a big complex application, okay? But if, for example, you're saying you're using something else, I would say, for example, there's a tool, instead of using Access, you're going to use something online. For example, Retool, okay? You can do this, all right? But there is room for innovation, and I'm encouraging you to do that. Now, there is actually grading rubrics. The required functionality. You're identifying requirements. We're going to have it in a meeting. Demo skill, when you do the demo. Software implementation, it means the SQL code, the reports, the reprint report, if it is there, and team collaboration. And if there's extra functionality that you had, you'll get 10 points. But if you already have 100 points, I cannot give you that 10 point again. You just go to 100 points. And the extra functionality, it could be any added requirements that you actually do, or any new tools or techniques that is limited to the class that you have, limited to the class you have used, okay? Starting 3rd week of October, there will be status updates. I'm going to meet with you. I'm going to send you a calendar so that we can meet, okay? If we cannot meet, if we cannot meet, you send me the status on Microsoft Teams, not on the discussion board, not by email, on Microsoft Teams. All right, so the status starting October 21st, October 28th, November 4th, November 11th, November 18th. All right, so those project status, you can actually have a status with me and still asking for any help from me, or if you have any question for me as well. I'm here to help. Okay. I have a question. How long should be a final report? The final report, it depends on how much work you have done. But when for the project that you have actually here, mostly those reports, they will be around 15 to 20 pages. 15 to 20 pages, max. Okay, but I know that that project, it cannot have 1 pages, 2 pages, okay? So I'm not really strict into the template of the document. I just need to have those information: the system analysis, the logical and physical model, database implementation, application implementation, and all these documented. How did you do it, etc. Like I said, for all this project, there will be required functionality that I'm expecting. So I'm gonna have meetings with you around 15 to 20 minutes to discuss about that. It is important to have those meetings because this is where you're actually going to gather the requirements. Any questions so far?
Hey, Professor, for that meeting, you are looking for incremental logs, or like we created the ER diagram. So should we share that and get your review, or it should be like on the final day you'll be reviewing it?
Yes, there will be incremental log. Thank you for saying. Okay, when I'm doing that meeting with you with the status, okay, I'm not expecting just, okay, this is what I did and then that's it. I want to see what you did, so that if I have suggestion, I will correct it, or I'll give you good suggestion and then you implement it. You understand what I mean? I'm not going to sit at the final. It means that whenever you write your final report, you should actually know what is your grade, because I'm helping you to make sure that you get the right model. You understand what I mean?
Yes, Professor.
Okay. Any question?
How much is it worth, the percentage of the project out of our whole grade?
It's around 40%. I remember actually, let me just check. But it's going to count actually a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second, because I don't want to mix the percentage. It's gonna be 20%.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
20%, because you have 3 exams, 10% each, 3 homework, 10% each, and class attendance, participation, quizzes, and labs, which is like 20%.
Thank you.
Okay, so now the question is why I'm emphasizing on the project. I want you guys to have experience doing that. And most importantly, well, you never know, you can actually implement that project in real life and it becomes your business. You guys use Google, right?
Yes, Professor.
Do you know that Google was a term project?
No.
Yeah, Google was a term project. So that's why I want you guys to work on it. Okay, if you have questions, let me know. If you have concerns, let me know. I'm here to help. Most importantly, I'm here to make sure that you succeed your project.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any question?
No.
When will you let us know which project we will do?
Tonight. You will know tonight.
Oh, okay. And I just checked the syllabus that you mentioned. Max team members is 3 students, but we have 5.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
I just checked the syllabus that you mentioned the maximum is 3 persons. So as right now we have 5 in each team. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. It's maybe a typo in the syllabus.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'll correct that.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
letting me know.
Thank
So
you.
on a question, can we have that project listed on our resume so everybody can see it? Yes. You can have that. And you can even put my name on it. And if someone calls, I will explain exactly what you did on that project and how you collaborate on that project too. Any other question? Okay, so thank you very much, guys. And I'll send an update later and we will see each other next Wednesday. Have a good night.
Good night, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good night,
Professor.
everyone. Thank you very much.
Professor, I just have a quick question.
Yes.
I was trying to reach you on Teams and I'm unable to find you. So it says external, your email, and then I don't think the message is going out.
Okay, hold on a second because that's weird. When was that?
That was a couple of days ago.
That is strange. What email did you use actually?